Tonight on the South Today, hundreds of people fill Cathedral Square to catch a glimpse of a royal as Princess Anne visits Christchurch. Dangerous buildings near central Dunedin look likely to be demolished after a long-running dispute. And a new phone app could be used by the public to help identify marine life from the air, land and sea. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Dave Gooselink. Hundreds of Cantabrians have turned out in Christchurch today to try and catch a glimpse of Princess Anne during her brief South Island visit. Her Royal Highness rededicated the restored Citizens' War Memorial and also visited the Canterbury Agricultural Park.
Pomp and ceremony as Her Royal Highness Princess Anne arrives in Cathedral Square. A crowd of Cantabrians, both young and old, gathered in the area with the hopes of catching a glimpse of the Princess Royal. She was tasked with rededicating the Citizens' War Memorial, which has been reinstated after 2 years of restoration work.
Today marks a major step forward in our city's journey to recover from the earthquakes of 2010 and 2011.
Princess Anne arrived in Wellington on Wednesday morning, visiting the National Crisis Management Centre at the Beehive, where she spoke to staff involved in the response to Cyclone Gabriel. The severe weather events forced the Royal to scale back her planned schedule, but still allowed time to visit the Garden City. Her Royal Highness was briefed about progress around the Christchurch rebuild and was shown around the cathedral where restoration work is underway. Princess Anne also unveiled a plaque and laid the first wreath on the reinstated War Memorial.
The rededication of the Citizens' War Memorial in the presence of Her Royal Highness today will once again provide a place where all of us may come, remember and reflect on the sacrifices made by the men and women of New Zealand in service of their country.
The royal visit to Christchurch was the last stop of Princess Anne's New Zealand visit. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Plumes of thick black smoke over central Invercargill sparked a major fire call-out today. Fire and Emergency New Zealand say 4 fire appliances have been attending the blaze on Camden Street. Some streets around Turnbull Thompson Park were also closed while crews battled the fire, which initially threatened neighbouring structures. Crew at the scene identified a pile of rubber as the source of the blaze, while another witness said the fire may have involved old hockey turf. FENZ says foam spray was being used to help suppress the fire, which on Friday afternoon was not at risk of spreading. Meanwhile in Cromwell, firefighters are tackling a large scrub fire on both sides of State Highway 6. Traffic was diverted and 7 fire engines were called out to the fire, which began around 2 p.m. this afternoon. Crews received reports of the fire at the intersection of State Highway 6 and 8B, but firefighters have managed to contain the blaze.
The next 4 days, right through till Tuesday, we have extraordinary high fire danger right across Otago. We're just asking everybody to be particularly careful.
Fire and Emergency New Zealand say they're working on dealing with containing hotspots with 3 helicopters on standby with concerns over the following days. Dangerous buildings leaning over a central Dunedin footpath now look set to be demolished based on a new engineering review. The Victorian shop fronts on Princes Street have been at the centre of a long-running dispute over heritage values.
This drone footage shows the extent of damage hiding behind the facades along Dunedin's Princes Street. The area was once a major shopping strip but is now described by critics as an example of demolition by neglect. The Dunedin City Council declared these Gold Rush era stores unsafe in 2008. And since then they've mostly remained vacant. The DCC wanted to try and keep the heritage facades, but that looks set to change following the review of an engineering report commissioned by the building's owners. It's understood developers are now in the process of applying for consent to demolish the shops. Demolition started on a block of similarly neglected historic buildings on nearby Rattray Street earlier in the week. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Christchurch police are on cautious alert about a possible gang fight which was advertised on social media. The original brawl was going to take place at the city's bus interchange yesterday, but there's concern the fight could now move to a suburban mall.
It was business as usual in central Christchurch on Thursday afternoon. A potential downtown street brawl had been publicised online to occur from 3 p.m. Police were aware of the event and monitored the situation, but there was no obvious signs of trouble. A flyer circulating on social media promoted the planned street fight as Battle of the Hoods, starting beside the Christchurch bus interchange and then to carry on all around town. Participants had been encouraged to bring weapons, the flyer reading "Weapons allowed" and "Stab for stab." Bus interchange security officers would have been pleased to see nothing eventuated. However, the threat of violence saw some parents keep their children off public transport in Christchurch. An alternative date and location was mentioned on the flyer if the creators suspected a police presence around the original fight plans. In Christchurch, the South today.
The team behind a new Kiwi phone app are hoping it'll be a resource to help identify marine animals from the air, land and sea. The app will also be used extensively next month in Lyttelton Harbour as a precaution during the Sail GP regatta.
Looking out for some of our most vulnerable species, the Maui 63 drone uses the same app technology now available free to the public. The new Sea Spotter phone app has caught the eye of the City Council's Smart Christchurch Council unit. The app has been developed by Maui 63, a not-for-profit group aiming to identify and protect marine life with the latest technologies. The app's development was spurred on by Sail GP, the high-performance catamaran sailing competition. Lyttelton is set to host the New Zealand Sail Grand Prix next month.
With Sail GP running in Lyttelton in 2023 and 25, we thought it would be useful to support the use of technology that could keep Hector dolphins safe.
Maui 63 developed the app with its local tech partner, Aware Group, as a part of Microsoft's AI for Good program, along with the support from government and international agencies. For Sail GP, the Maui 63 team will use the Sea Spotter app to check the waters of Lyttelton Harbour with the help of its drone to identify and track marine life that may be at risk. But it's not limited to use around professional events. Developers want the public to adopt the application, letting them record on smartphones and upload sightings of marine life.
You point your camera out to sea, frame up the dorsal fin of the dolphin with the frame of the camera and press record. And once the recording's done, you answer some questions about the size of the pod, if there are any juvenile animals in that pod as well.
Sea Spotter users can also contact DOC through the app if they come across a stranding emergency or animal in distress, allowing the general public to help contribute to the welfare of our marine life. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whai Akine, still to come on the South Today. Celebrations and recovery for one woman after swimming the length of Lake Wanaka without a wetsuit. And the wickets tumble in Queenstown as the Otago Volts try to chase a hefty target set by Canterbury.
Garage Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garage quality service. Garage Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Drive away your way with 3 incredible offers on the Honda CR-V Adventure Ready range. Choose from 2.9% finance with zero deposit, third finance, or lease a new CR-V from just $136 per week. These offers are only available for a limited time, so be in quick. From Honda.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
This is the big one. My mate John's taken 25 to 75% off everything. No exclusions and no exceptions. It only happens once a year, and this time it's bigger than ever. This is the big one. My mate John's massive annual sale. 25 to 75% off everything. Only at John's Furniture Warehouse, Stafford Street, and online.
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street. And my mate John.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including indoor bowls.
Welcome back. Well, Wanaka swimmer is feeling the burn of success after swimming the length of Lake Wanaka without a wetsuit, but she admits setting the new record wasn't an easy feat. Camille Gulick was spurred on by her support crew as she swam across 44 kilometres of 14-degree water in Wanaka, clocking in at a time of 15 hours 34 minutes. Gulick says keeping well nourished is the key, but says it wasn't smooth sailing as her body started to reject the food.
Unfortunately, about 5 or 6 hours into the swim, my stomach decided it didn't like that. I had some digestion issues and I was kind of questioning at the time if I could continue. But luckily I had some backup food options and ended up just eating I had boiled some potatoes, and so I ate those potatoes and was drinking Coca-Cola, and that seemed to settle things.
It took a full year of training for the experienced swimmer, as well as holding out for the right conditions. Gulick says the gruelling achievement is still sinking in. Well, the Otago Volts are struggling to chase down a huge total at Queenstown's Sir John Davies Oval against the Canterbury Wizards. Otago is looking to avoid being knocked out of the 2023 Ford Trophy competition. The Volt started strong after sending the Wizards in to bat, Canterbury losing 2 early wickets as Michael Ray led the charge. But Chad Bowers halted their momentum, the Wizards opener scoring freely against the Volts, romping to his boundary laden 100 in the 28th over. He starred alongside Leo Carter, who also reached a century, the pair helping set the Volts a 351-run target to avoid being knocked out of the competition. The Volts have gotten off to a shaky start, losing opener Max Chu for a golden duck, with wickets then falling regularly. The Volts are currently in a tough spot with 145 for 7 and still need 206 to win. Well, now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Princess Anne has visited a number of Christchurch landmarks as crowds try to catch a glimpse of Her Royal Highness. Demolition of rundown buildings on Princess Street looks likely after a long-running debate over heritage values. And the public's being encouraged to use a new phone app called Sea Spotter, which uses artificial intelligence to identify marine mammals. Now taking a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome editor Barry Stewart. Welcome, Barry.
Hi Dave, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Rate rise is on the agenda, and our council reporter Grant Miller has a look at the projections, so you'll get a sneak preview of that in the paper tomorrow.
Always contentious for ratepayers.
Oh, of course, yeah, we all love it, don't we? So let's debate that one.
Yeah.
And a word of warning: don't get sick in the Clutha district next week. Clutha Health First is not taking any new patients for the week due to sickness and a lack of staff. So there's some serious issues there. We have a look at club cricket in the paper tomorrow. We have a look at a umpire who is on 999 not out. John Henderson will officiate in his 1000th match. In a club match at the weekend. So we have a look at what drives him, and a clue to that is his number plate, which says LBW out. So he's a pretty passionate man about his cricket.
That's a pretty decent run.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Barry. Now taking a look at the weather prospects.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Starting with the situation, temperatures become warmer this weekend as a nor'westerly airflow develops ahead of a front on the Tasman Sea. A cooler airflow will arrive next week with some rain. Heading to the top of the South Island, fine with light winds in both Nelson and Greymouth, forecasting highs of 24 there. Breezy nor'easterlies in Christchurch with some cloud and 21 degrees. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, Ashburton can expect moderate nor'easterlies and some cloud with 22 degrees. Light easterlies and cloud in Timaru with 23. And Oamaru should get fresh nor'easterlies with cloud and 21 degrees. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes and fine with light winds across the board here. Wanaka's looking at a summery 28 degrees, 25 in Queenstown and 26 in Alexandra. Heading further south, light to fresh nor'westerlies with high cloud in Balclutha and Gore, both expecting 23 degrees. Back on 20 for the Catlins with fresh nor'easterlies. And down to the deep south, fine and cool tonight in Invercargill. Fine again tomorrow with sunny periods and increasing high cloud. Moderate nor'westerly winds developing in a high of 23. And for Sunday, cloudy with some rain spreading from the west along with winds, a high of 20 and a low of 15 degrees. And finally heading to Dunedin, mostly cloud tonight with a low of 10. A high of 20 tomorrow, mild with breezy nor'easterlies and a mix of sunny periods with some cloud. And on Sunday, high cloud will increase with warm, moderate northerly winds. A nice day to be outdoors. Expect a high of 27 degrees and a low of 13. And that's the news this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again next week. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.